On 1st October, started the business with capital of 70,500 in the bank. On 4 October, bought a machine for 40,000 Rwandan francs paying by check. On 6 October, bought office equipment for 2,250 paying by check. On 11 October, paid the rent of 4,000 Rwandan francs by check. On 12 October, obtained a loan of 30,500 Rwandan francs from a friend Grass and put the money into the bank. On 15 October, paid the wages of 5,000 Rwandan francs by check. On 18 October, received commission of 12,000 by check. On 20 October, there is a drawing of 2,500 by check. And on 25 October, paid the wage of 4,500 by check.
We are now going through the answer of above question about double entry system. We are going to start by the transaction that took place on the 1st October, where the owner of the business started the business with capital of 70,500 Rwandan francs in bank. To mean that the business receives money and the bank increases as an asset, and owner's equity or capital also increases. And we all know that when asset increase, we debit. By that time, we are going to debit the bank account by 70,500 as an asset. So we are going also to credit capital by 70,500 Rwandan francs, because the capital account is always credited when it is increasing. On 4th October, the company bought machine of 40,000 francs by check. To mean that the machine as an asset increased and the bank account decreased because we paid by bank. It means our assets on the bank had decreased through payments made. And we are going also to debit machine as an asset, because an asset, remember that it increases when debited. So we are going to debit the machine account by 40,000, and also we credit bank account by 40,000, because bank account is an asset, but here it is decreasing, and the asset decreases when it is credited. So let's move on the third transaction that took place on the 6th October, where the company bought office equipment of 20,250 Rwandan francs by check. To mean that the equipment, the office equipment increased in. Remember that these equipments are in form of assets. Means when asset increases, we debit. That's why down here we are going to debit office equipment account by 20,250 Rwandan francs as an asset of equipment that increases. And we also credit bank account as an asset that is decreasing here. We are going to credit bank account by 20,250, because the bank here is an asset, but it is decreasing, and the asset decreases when credited. On 11 October, the company paid rent of 4,000 by check. So here the rent is an expense. And remember that when expenses increase, we debit. And when expenses decrease, we credit. And here expenses are increasing because they are being paid by the company. Means here we are going to debit rent expense by 4,000, and also we credit bank as an asset that is decreasing here, because we are paying rent expense by using bank. It means our bank account is reducing, so we are going to credit the bank account by 4,000 in order to obey the double entry system. And then on 12 October, the loan received of 30,500 Rwandan francs from Glass deposited in a bank. To mean that the bank increases as an asset and loan payable increases as liability. Remember that when liability increases, we credit is not as the same as an asset. So here we are going to debit bank account by 30,500 and credit loan as liability by 30,500. On 15 October, the company paid wages of 5,100 francs by check. So here the wage expense increases as an expense and the bank decreases as an asset. To mean that the expense increases but the bank reduces. Here we are going to debit wages expenses as an expense. As we know, expenses increases when we debit. So here we are going to debit wages expense account by 5,100 francs and we credit bank by 5,100 francs. To mean that the bank account as an asset has been reduced. So on 18 October, the commission received of 12,100 francs by check. So here the bank increases and the commission also increases. Here that's why, because we received this commission by check, it means that the money had all assets, our assets has been increased on bank account because the transaction is made by check. When it is by hand, we should have to debit cash account, but here we are debiting bank account because the transaction has been made by check. So here we are going to debit the bank account because our asset has been increased to bank account. And also the commission, which is an income, and income always increase when they are being credited. So here we are going to credit commission income by 12,100 francs. So this is how this transaction should be treated. And let's continue on the 20 October, where the drawings of 2,500 francs was made by check. To mean that if it's by check, it has to affect the bank account. So here the bank account is reducing or decreases because the drawings, all the money taken by the owner for the personal use, which are called drawings, has been taken to the bank. Means they use the check, the owner used the check to withdraw the money from the business account, bank account especially, and he take them for private use. So here we are going to credit bank account as an asset, reducing on the bank account of the business, and here we also debit the drawing account as an expense. So pay attention here. The drawings is treated as an expense, but it isn't as normal expenses. It is treated as an expense, but isn't as a normal expense. So we have to debit drawing account as an expense and we credit bank account as an asset, reducing both by 2,500 francs. And let's move on the last one on 25 October, where the company paid wages of 4,500 francs by check. Means when it is involving check, it means that it is also affecting the bank account. Here, because we paid the wages by using check or bank account, means the bank account as an asset are reducing, so that we have to credit those assets in the form of bank that are being reduced by 4,500 francs, and we also debit wages expense as an expense increasing. Remember that expenses increases when we are debiting them, so we have to debit wages account by 4,500 francs. So I think here the answer above has been already answered well, and the double entry system has been well treated, since the one transaction is affecting two different accounts, account to be debited and account to be credited.
So, as conclusion, double entry system affects at least two accounts. If you debit, you credit. No matter how complex accounting becomes, from small businesses to CPA, ACCA, or even PhD level, it all starts with this principle. Every debit has a credit. This is a golden rule of accounting.